So we have the lightning talks coming up. There will be 5 talks. We'll start with Sébastien. He's already here on stage talking about exporting and importing company level data instead of just site level data. Portlet development the fast way with Juan, Ramon. I'll probably butcher one or the other name here, but we'll see. Theme development with the 6.1, with the new 6.1 features by Maarten van Heiningen. Is he there? Okay. He'll be back right now, okay. And Liferay Testability, Peter Mesotten, and the e-learning platform that Janne has been working on. Okay, the rules for that are each speaker has exactly 7 minutes, and those 7 minutes start when you hear this, then I'll be quiet, and after 7 minutes there will be another of this, well, beautiful sound effect, and the time is out then. After that, please make sure, if you're interested in one of the topics, to locate, pin down the speakers. They are here to spark interest in their topic, and they know a lot more. They have submitted a full submission, a full presentation, but unfortunately, we're out of slots. We actually have a lot more submissions than we had slots, so we could actually have more of this. So just make sure that you have, or that you locate them here. They will stay here for a while after that, even if we go into our lunch break. So with that, Sébastien, just introduce yourself and your topic, starting.
Welcome aboard. I'm Sébastien, and I will talk to you about exporting and importing company-level data. Firstly, let's have a look to the problem. Transferring data between several environments is a common need. In fact, we need to make selective import and incremental import. So forget the idea to just push a database dump. Okay? For site scope data, you can do it with a Liferay archive, remote staging, or a resource importer plugin. But for all data outside the site scope, the company level data, no way. That's the problem. But what are company level data? In fact, if you consider the sections into the portal category in control panel, you get an overview of what company level data are. So users, organizations, roles, or password policies are company level data. Now, it's time to get front-end feedback. A concrete example is roles permissions definitions. Because it's about security, it's of course critical. How to export and import such data? First possibility, without any tool, you can do the job manually by the native user interface, step by step, permission by permission. You click, and you click again. It's very painful. You need to write edge procedure documentation, and it's unsafe because too rare is human. So the good alternative is to build a tool to do the job. It's fast to replay and error prone. Now, let me give you some advices to write such a tool. Firstly, don't work directly with database. Forget SQL-based solutions to avoid integrity problems. Okay? Prefer the use of portal services. For example, from a plain old plugin or from an admin script in Groovy, Ruby, Python if you want. Last point, be careful about IDs, because entities IDs are environment specific. Now, let's look to an out-of-the-box tool built at SQLi, my company. It's a hook plugin. There's no user interface. You do actions only by file manipulations. So it's perfect for upstream. Input and output files are in the same directory. To export, you just put an export properties files with export options, and you get data archive by return. To import, you just put an import.properties files for import options on the data archive with the same base name, okay? The XXXXX. And for import, of course, nothing to retrieve. The data are in Liferay Portal. For export and import, there is many options. You can set these options in properties files. See the example of the screen. This is just an extract. There are many options. You can also watch the data structure inside the data archive. This is just a directory tree with XML files. So it can be useful if you want to combine together the tool with an ETL, for example, for migration from another product to Liferay Portal. Cherry on the cake, you can get it now because it's open source since last night. Be careful, it's a beta release with limited coverage. Okay? Next day is more stability. But I encourage you to download it and to try it, and of course to give me feedback. You have the internet address to download it, and soon it will be on the marketplace. This is around. If you want more information, you can come to talk with me or contact me later. Thanks for your attention.
Perfect, thank you. So special applause, there's 7 minutes max, as I told everybody. Just come up and prepare, set up. 7 minutes max, so it's even better to be even quicker. Again, while we're changing, again, can you just show up if there is a free seat next to you? There are people standing in the back. So we're setting up, if somebody wants to sit, see where the free seats are. Okay, the next one is actually, according to the title, a good fit for lightning talks, and that's Portlet development the fast way.
Fast way. Okay.
Okay. You done?
Yes, I think so.
Then I would say.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm kind of a new developer on the Liferay arena, so I want to tell you what I felt when I started to work with Liferay. And the first thing that I felt was frustration. I was really frustrated when I started to work with Liferay. And that's maybe because I'm lazy, but I think it's always because I feel I was going back in time. It felt like developing EJBs again. You have to code sorry here. You have to program like the service XML, the views in the JSP, the X model hint, the Liferay.
That's Peter Mesotten, and well, we're good in time. Leaving some time to set up, quite fine. Let me use this just for a show of hands. Who has been at last year's lightning talks already? Apart from me. Okay, higher up. I can't see you. Okay, thanks. Okay, looks done?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome. I want to talk to you a little bit about testability in Liferay, how you can really unit test your Liferay services. This will be a very technical talk, but I'll try to explain everything as good as possible. So my name is Peter Mesotten. I'm a Liferay expert at ACIT Solutions. If you have the time, you should really check out our booth. We have a cool game developed. So come and play and earn your stamp. So, when we're writing Liferay code and we want to test that code, we come across some kind of challenges. So there are two big challenges. The first challenge is related to the service API of Liferay, which is based on the service builder. And so you have all those local services, and you have to access them by using the local service util classes. Also, when you want to use those services, eventually you have to run them in an application server. So if you just write some testing and you want to execute or you want to use those local services, you have to run your test in an application server. or you have to mock them in any way. Also, the Liferay Service API at this moment doesn't support any service injection. So Liferay uses Spring, but you cannot inject Liferay services directly into your code, which makes it again harder to mock them. So typically, this is what you would write if you would write a service that is based on Liferay, on the Liferay Service API. So you can see that for each kind of thing you need to access the local service util classes. So for example, in this case, I just wrote a service that will retrieve user info based on an email address. And first I have to retrieve a company ID by using the company local service util. And then I have my company ID, and using that company ID I can retrieve the actual Liferay user by calling the appropriate method from the user local service util. So once I have those informations, I can store it in my own object and return it to the method. So this is how you usually write such code. Now you have two problems with this. Of course, this is only one method, but suppose you have a real service with lots of methods. It's unclear on which services of Liferay your code depends. So it's very hard to see what dependencies your code has on those Liferay services. A second and most important problem is it's very hard to unit test this. So what you would really want is to be able to inject the direct Liferay services into your class and then use them appropriately. So you don't have to bother with those local service util classes anymore. No more static method calls. Just call the actual services like they're supposed to be called. So in that case, you would inject user local service and company local service directly on your class, and you can use them appropriately. So the first advantage of this is it's very clear which are the dependencies on Liferay because they're just injected above in my class. The second advantage is that we can now very easily unit test our code. So how can we do that? We can use any mocking framework. I've used Mockito as an example. So the first thing we need to do is to define the interfaces we want to mock. In this case, user local service and company local service. So that's the first step. In the second step, we will set up our mocks to return the data that we want. So we can tell Mockito to return some mocked user if we call the user service with a certain email address. Also, we can, for example, let Mockito throw an exception if we want to retrieve a user using an invalid email address. So once we have set up this mocks, then we go to step 3, and step 3 is the actual testing, the actual test methods. And in this case, we can just call our custom user info service, and because we have mocked our Liferay services, this will return the expected result. So in this case, we no longer have the problem that we are calling static methods in our own services, so we can very easily mock those things out. So this is nice and all, but how do we actually do it? Because if we use this code in a normal Liferay without modification, it will not work because well, the services will not be injected because they won't exist like that. So we need some kind of mechanism to inject those services. You would think, okay, Liferay uses Spring, so Liferay has some kind of application context. So we can use the application context to inject the services. But that's not really true, because Liferay, the application context of Liferay is not accessible in our portlets, so we cannot use it. So we have to find a different option. And we can find that solution by using factory beans in Spring. So in Spring you can define a bean based on a factory method and a class. Because each local service util class of Liferay has a get service which returns the actual interface that's behind that local service util. So in that case we can define that bean as if it was defined directly as a local service and not as a local service util. So in that case, we can easily define those beans for all the services that we use in Liferay, and in that case, we can properly inject them, and it will work just fine. I have a little bit more time left, I see. So I just want to make a remark that this doesn't work in all cases. There's, for example, a problem with classes that are managed by Liferay. So, for example, hooks. If you define a startup action, which is invoked when the application server starts up, this won't work. Your service will not be injected because the actual instance is being created by Liferay, but Spring will also define its own instance, and that will make two instances, but Liferay will run only the instance that doesn't have the services injected. So, my time is up. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good use of that extra time.
Okay.
Okay. Janne.
Not yet ready.
Okay. Then go.
So hi everybody, my name is Janne Hietala and I'm from company Arcusus. I have the least technical presentation, so I hope you enjoy it as the last one. I'm actually about to make a presentation which is based on a true story. So at the same time, the images you see are actually our employees who had a fun day with the photographer and used a little bit of new thinking. Last year I was talking also in a lightning talk, I shared you an idea that Liferay could be extended to provide e-learning functionality. And since then, we have been working really hard and we developed these features. You might have heard about the community project in liferay.com called Project Learn, where we actually invited everybody to join in and participate. But today, I would like to share with you some larger picture and ideas, what we intend to do with Project Learn. Okay, so yesterday I talked with some of the Liferay management guys when we discussed how the Liferay is actually challenging the big vendors like IBM and Microsoft. And when you compare these companies, the scale is quite difficult to grasp because they are so huge and done this so long. But actually, what I found out during the years that I've worked on Liferay and in the community as well, that actually we have lots of freedom to do, if we find something necessary, something important, which we want to improve or implement something completely new, we have freedom to do that. And actually, you just can go and do it, and that's what we have done. And now the marketplace is really nice thing that we can share these results with all the community, and that's one really strong point. So when actually we compare the sizes of community with these big guys, the comparison turns around. So I believe that we have quite strong community and lots of force there. Actually, for Project Learn, I believe that this is really important stuff that we are working. The means to distribute knowledge is probably the next important social feature that we have to have in Liferay, like in social office, or in companies and different organizations. In this way, e-learning becomes actually a tool for the organization for knowledge management. Because teaching, coaching, and sharing knowledge is really something that motivates professionals to improve themselves and to share the knowledge. So let's say the Wikipedia is a good example. I saw it yesterday, again, used in a presentation. But the web-based learning should support this more. So how to transfer and distribute knowledge more and easily by creating tools and the learning experience. And in this case, we don't aim to do a decent job, we aim to do the best job in the world, basically provide the best experience in the world with the Project Learn. So we have ambitious goals. But I think this is really something important. Recently, I actually had a chance to work in a really great customer project in Finland, where the Project Learn features were used. Company is called Sol. It's one of the largest facility and security service providers in Finland. They employ 10,000 employees, and they do 15,000 training days every year. in the company, and this is growing all the time. They had tried e-learning and existing e-learning features and stuff, but they weren't happy with the experience they provided, basically. And there's lots of difficulties here. So we did the project, created templates for the course and education in this portal environment. And there was lots of improvement. And you can imagine the amount of improvement and value the new learning platform provided if they did it traditionally, like manual trainings. So they have everything set up on the web portal, all the courses, and the people can actually participate improving the content they are sharing there and teaching to the employees. So they get lots of new employees every year, and basically all the new people get the same training and the same standardized way how the new people are introduced in the company, and they get the professional skills to work in the company and provide the services that they do. There were features like video-based learning, reflection, collaborative spaces for knowledge sharing, exams, quizzes, and courses using SCORM-based third-party learning materials which they acquired, and they use these features. But really, the next thing I would like to get you all involved. If you are a Liferay partner or service provider or your organization just uses Liferay, I would like you to try Liferay as a learning platform. The application will be available in the next few days, hopefully, from Marketplace. It's free. And just get it and start using it. It should be simple enough. If you're a Liferay service provider, see if you can do a project for your customer. This is probably all the customers have some need for this. Get the feedback, get the improvements, and we are happy to help you implement them into the Project Learn. The best part is that it's completely open source, so you can find the source code in GitHub. It's developed actually with Scala, so it's quite interesting. But that's something that I want to challenge you guys to do and really go there and try. There's lots of good stuff in the marketplace, so that's probably what everybody should do. But I would like to end you with to give you some information for the next main feature that we are working on, which we are already implementing. That when we consider who are the potential users of the Project Learn, it's basically the organizations that are already using Liferay. And how to provide the best Liferay learning experience is by providing tools to work them, tools that they are familiar with. So the next thing we are releasing is the course producer, where you can produce learning content using Liferay content management. So the same tools that you have been using previously, you can just continue using them and provide learning material, which is, again, SCORM standard-based, and you can follow the learning and see all the activities that the users have done. This is something that nobody else basically has. So lots of interesting things coming. Wait for the great things happen during the next year. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to all the lightning talk speakers. We have a little bit of time that we can have for a Q&A. So if you would all come on stage so that we all remember who did what, and we'll see that. As we only have one handheld microphone and we don't have a microphone for everybody, we'll do it a little bit different. I'll repeat a question when I hear it and then run to the front and pass the microphone. So is there anybody with a question for anybody? Okay, Thiago.
I have a question about the stability. I'm pretty sure that we has I think Liferay has a annotation called being reference that you can use it instead of injection. So I think you don't need to declare that XML file. Just use bin reference and you'll be able to inject the dependencies that you need. This is just a suggestion.
Wait a second.
Does that also work in your custom portlets and hooks? Really? Okay. I should check that out. Thanks.
Okay, well, I'll go out of your way. If you want to talk to any of these, remember their faces and pin them down. Easiest is right here or in their booths in case it's partners. With that, I think we'll leave you to the lunch break. Have fun, enjoy the rest of the day.